Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and today is day number 290. I can't even believe it. 290 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And yes, we actually have our service hero, Robert W. Jones. He's here for a service hero recap, if you will. And I have to just publicly say thank you to this amazing service hero for the work that he's doing and what he actually just did to help my work and some of the work of the people that I'm affiliated with. And you have some cool new stuff we wanted to go over. So I want to say welcome, and we already have a friend of ours, Eric.
Oh, Mr. Awesome.
Yes,
He looks awesome.
Look at that. And he had
All right.
a play on words. Awesome. Yes, Mr. Awesome himself. And then we have, look at that. Let's see. We have Angel Marie is with us to shine on. And so Eric's shouting out to people. Well, good for you. Do that. I love
Troy
it,
Jones.
Eric. Okay, Troy Jones. And yes, the Habitat Warrior Rock Stars. Okay, well, you know what? Eric is amazing. And thank you for being with us, Eric. Okay, so let's talk, Robert. You just recently had an amazing event there that I actually traveled through the desert and actually through a monsoon. Very first time I've ever
Right.
I've driven through a monsoon now.
Yeah, an Arizona monsoon. I'm sure that was fun.
Oh my goodness. I mean, all of a sudden there's these big signs on the freeway, and I'm driving at night because I'm thinking it's 111 during the desert. So I was taught long ago when I was a little girl that you travel at night when you're going through the desert, right? So I planned it. I planned to be there, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Girl Scout. I can do this. Okay, I was like almost there, and I'm singing my show tunes at the top of my lungs and doing this whole thing, and then all of a sudden I see these lights, and they're like, where, and I'm thinking,
and they probably kept coming closer and closer and closer, right?
I'll tell you. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Woo-hoo. Yes, I'll tell you, Eric. It was a woohoo kind of thing, and network together. Yes, thank you. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the next one that you're going to be having. In fact, so a monsoon. And I was told that was like a baby monsoon, is what.
Yeah, like our little haboobs.
That's what it was.
Yeah, a little haboob.
Haboob.
Yes, that is the preferred way of calling them instead of a monsoon, which sounds, a little harsh. We call them a haboob. It kind of lessens the dramatic effect of these storms.
Oh, I'm not lessening the dramatic effect of that one. No, right. No. I mean, I have a pretty decent car that, I'm feeling like it's heavy enough and it's down to the ground enough and everything. All of a sudden, when I start seeing the 18-wheelers, under the overpass, and then I see things coming at me, and I'm thinking a little bit of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz kind of thing going on, and I'm thinking, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, and you should feel safe that you're not in Kansas, but you probably didn't.
No, and so that started off my wonderful experience there, and yet I had to say that by the time I was able to come over to Your Eye Network Expo, the Network Together Eye Network Expo. Let's get that right. Okay. I was so impressed. And
we were happy. We were happy to have you on there because actually, Tamara, you got to be on the first women's panel we've ever had. Yeah. There you got it. Yeah, absolutely.
My name's up there.
It is up there. You're starring.
Oh, well, yeah, I was the second one in. Donna was starting, and she was the hostess or the
Yeah.
MC. And thank you for that. I want to say thank you for that privilege, because it was a privilege and an honor, and I don't take that lightly. And I want to recognize that publicly, that meant the world to me. That Chemo Buddies for Life truly appreciates the opportunity to go and share what it is that we're doing, because we are affecting people that are affected by cancer, and we are
Yeah.
truly healing through connections, and we are actually doing it, and I represent them, and I don't take it lightly. And so I want to publicly thank you for that opportunity, because it was huge, and I know that. And so, what is it that you are? Let's go backwards, because not everybody probably remembers our time together before, when we talked about Network Together. And I was lucky enough to meet you over a year ago now in
Yeah.
LA. And then, oh no, actually I met you the very first time in Phoenix.
In
Didn't I?
Phoenix, it was at a spirit
Yeah,
summit. Yeah.
that's right. That was my very first summit I ever went to.
You were with Sherry Watson there, and she was lifting you up, and you were lifting up her. And I
Yeah.
remember at this event, it was kind of the first foray for Network Together to be a part of a host or a sponsoring of the event. And I still remember the host of the event asking who the Network Together members were, and half the room stood up and waved their hands, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. In fact, I remember that very distinctly, because I had never been to an event or any of the kind of events that we now go to, that I have been over the last year and a half been going to. And that was my very first one. And I did not go to it because of the reason that most people would. Sherry Watson has a nonprofit background of 30 years. She's worked to help change laws. In fact, she was one of the chief architects for the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so I went to help her, or to recognize and honor and support her, because she was receiving an award that the year before Frank Shankwitz had been honored with, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I was coming from that road, or that lane, if you will.
Right.
And then I come to a spirit summit, and I remember seeing that very distinctly, because it made an impression on me, because I'm thinking, all of these people are from one group. I had never seen anything like that before, not in my professional experience, from what I did in my past. And so I remember very distinctly talking to you about that, and asking questions about what it is that you did. And you were sharing that your organization is one that's unlike any others. And that left, I kept thinking about that. And then when I saw you again in Los Angeles, we had a chance to be on the meeting, to have dinner and visit. And that was really when we had a chance to bond and get to know who we are as individuals. And that's very important. And when I got to know who you are, and then find out what you do, it made so much sense now for where we went, and when I came through the monsoon to your event. I want to show a couple of pictures, because pictures do speak. You had a full room. I mean, literally, there was not a single chair left in that.
No, it ended up being standing room only. And there at the event, we had 223 attendees for the day. So we were very excited. And you and I were talking about the netboard. It's an invention of mine, and it's where people put their business cards on a board, and it's a way for people to see who. There you go. Look at that. It's a way for attendees to see who's there before they even get into the room, and it's worked out really well, and it looks very good visually speaking. But we had a standing room only. We had crowded doors. The netboard, I believe, holds 120 cards, and it was full by 9:30 a.m.
Yes, and what I witnessed is again, I've been to a lot of networking meetings through my world, my old world, because I was a recruiter, headhunter. I mean, that's what you do, right? You go out there, you meet companies, and you're meeting candidates, and I have been to everything from breakfast meetings to chamber events. So sorry, to so many other type of networking situations, and I have never seen anything like this. Now, I had heard about your flash mobs. I had heard about a variety of things that you guys do, and I had heard about these quarterly events. However, I had not been able to witness one until I went out there this last week, and I have to tell you, the amount of energy, the enthusiasm, the networking, and the business that was being done. I mean, there was actual, business.
We call it transactions on the floor. There was transactions going on the floor, because not only do we have panelists and speakers, we have exhibitors out on the floor. And if they have the opportunity to sell what they do, whether it's a product or a service, we encourage them to do so. I mean, it's a place to do commerce, not just to get great information from speakers and experts and influencers, but a way to also, let's get business done.
And that right there is the main feeling that I got from everybody. It was, I'll say it had a little bit of that mastermind feel, in that, what can I do for you?
Right.
But yet that really goes along with your pillars, though, right?
Yes. Our second pillar is always having curriculum defined throughout the chapters through our education committee. That's either personal development related or business development related. And one thing that we talked about last time I was on the show is I frankly stated that I never meant or intended to have a business networking organization. What I really wanted to have was just a community organization where groups of people could get together and actually get to know each other once again, instead of just having a phone where we're texting each other from across the street. As a kid, there was the welcome wagon, and I thought, well, what can I do to create my own welcome wagon?
Okay, I have to say, welcome wagons had baskets of goodies. You guys had more than a basket of goodies. You had a cooler full of cash.
Yes, we had lots of baskets of goodies. I think we had 40 gift giveaways, but we also had our first ever $1,000 cold hard cash giveaway, and we had a $200 prize, a $300 prize, and a $500 prize. And there's my lovely wife and I hanging out. Is that us? Yeah. So
yeah, that's the two of you, and it's right around that time when you guys were getting the names pulled, and I wanted to bring this picture up because we're going to tell a little story about this too.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah, a little tattling on this.
Oh no. Oh God.
Well, I'm not going to use names or anything, but the moral of the story is, if you put your name into something, stay until your names get an opportunity to be pulled, right?
Yeah. But you know what's really great about that, Tamara, is our $500 prize winner was also our keynote speaker, Rob Clark. He flew in from Utah, and he actually put in $50 into the raffle. He says, "I'm going to put in $50," and I said, "Okay, Rob, go ahead." And he actually became the $500 winner of the raffle. And we just had a 50-50 raffle. We were doing that for our local charity, Tommy Two Shoes, which provides books and reading for kids in our area here. And he just smiled. He took it. You remember this? He smiled, took it, waved that $500, and called out to Courtney, who's the director of the organization. And he's like, "Courtney, come up here," And Courtney was like looking like, what did I do? And what did he do?
He gave that money. He donated that money to the charity that you had chosen for the day, Tommy Two Shoes, and you know, because he was sitting next to me when that was taking place, and he goes, because he doesn't have a very light voice, but he was like, Tamara, you know, Tamara, you know, if I win and I put a lot of my name in there, I am going to donate it. And then he winks at me like, okay, now watch this. And so then I'm watching the whole thing. And I thought how beautiful it was, because it was, here's a man that, to know Rob's story, which I don't have a picture of him, but he's one of our service heroes and a dear friend. And to know Rob's story is to know that he has made himself into who he is by reading books.
Yeah.
And he is an avid book reader, and he's an avid, he goes out there and promotes reading books to others. And that's how you will change your situation. You want to change your situation? Read books.
And you know, and we didn't know that either. You know, as far as, you know, we weren't trying to correlate that, but it just was a perfect circle there, from a literacy program as our key not-for-profit to Rob. After reading his bio, and because Rob and I know each other pretty well, but he doesn't go, hey, I'm this avid reader of books. This is how I've learned. This is why I'm where I'm at. And when he heard that it was the literacy program, that he came back and he said, that really lit my heart, because I also know that the fifth pillar of your organization is service to our youth. And he felt like he was not only providing great and valuable information for the business owners there, he was tackling two pillars, and that's community service and serving to our youth.
Yes, and he even, through his keynote, he did talk about the fact that he is working, and it was really cute how he was giving examples that the neighborhood kids, or his son's kids, friends, were coming over, and they were learning about mortgages and, you know, learning practical things, and he was teaching. And I thought, you know, I love that, because there's opportunities, and we just sometimes think that something so, if you will, to us, something that's important, but we don't necessarily think is going to be an afternoon, you know, share time subject, that he, you know, he's like, hey, they want to learn, and I want to teach them, so let's do this. And so he was very big about the youth and talking about that. I want to go on to talk about the fact that you also are aligning yourself with two men and an organization that is near and dear to my heart. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I met Don and Jim at an event some time back, and I'm going to use this word, kind of an old school word. They kind of tickled me. You know, they roused my interest, because in a certain way, they are so different, Tamara. And in a certain way, I don't know, that there's a secret sauce that the two of them have, that together they just can light up a room, can put a smile on your face, and then you walk away with such a profound sense of, I have knowledge that I never had before, because I met those two guys. You know, they can make you laugh, they can make you think, they help you become a fearless speaker without you even knowing it. And all of a sudden, people are doing things that they never thought they could ever possibly do. And then they come back at you and you said, hey, see this? You just did this. You know, here, I can see Jim now, his hands up. You see this?
Oh yeah.
Preacher Jim, right? And well, our first pillar is the, you know, most people, you know, aside from death and taxes, you know, or being terminally ill, their greatest fear, though, is public speaking. And we decided to partner with the Speaker Pathway Coalition as another conduit for our members to get sound and proper training to become, you know, fearless speakers. Because if they have the power of their voice to speak, they're going to resonate that power of their voice in their daily business activities.
And I'm grateful for that. I know these two gentlemen very well, because they did bring me in on the team for Speakers Pathway Coalition. Mm-hmm. And I am the resident how to create a movement person.
Right.
How to get out there and use your voice to create a movement and change the world. Yes.
Yeah. And I like that. And they talk about knowing your audience. They talk about the way that you should project. They talk about the way that you should stand in your power and authenticity. They talk about the different topics that you should have in your head, ready to speak at any time. And
Right.
but they don't overwhelm you with it. They do it in such a way where um, they kind of get you to know what you already know in certain respects, but to do things that you don't feel that you could have done otherwise, because they give you that kind of sense of comfort food that a lot of people don't necessarily have. And then they say, you know what, we're going to bring this courage out of you, and we're going to bring you to the places that you haven't been before.
And I'm glad that we're highlighting that, because the thing about your organization, and let's be real, this is a community organization, networking organization
Right.
that has such uniqueness circling it. However,
Mm-hmm.
you're talking the plumber, you're talking the the car mechanic, you're talking the
The
CPA
nutritionist.
in town, you're
Yeah.
talking the store manager,
Yeah.
you're talking about the individuals that make our communities work. And yes, not all of them have the same kind of drive that our Mr. Awesome Eric Swanson has, where he's
Yeah.
traveling the world and he's getting on stages. Not everybody has that. Some do, of course.
Right.
And if
Right.
so, then that definitely will be, a great place for them to be. But go
And,
ahead.
and,
You have something to
and
say.
I want to talk about Eric Swanson really quickly. You know, I remember when Eric first came to a network together, and we got to hang out, and it was great. Hi, it was really wonderful, and but a lot of the members, they were intimidated by Eric that first go around. And I remember some of them going like, well, he can do it, but I can't. He can do it, but I can't. And I said, what? Don't be intimidated by Eric. Actually learn from Eric. You know, you may not be Eric, but you're perfect in your own way. And this is what we're learning from Eric with every chapter that he came to. And that was pretty much a good dialogue I had really for about 6 weeks. And then Eric came through again and spent some more time in another week, and he came through the chapters. And I always say in networking, chatter brings the cheddar. Okay. And so there is nothing better than in a community. There's always the chatter. That's the fastest. Digital marketing's fast, but let me tell you, a bunch of networkers chattering in the background is way faster than any form of communication I've ever seen. And
Yeah. Go
and when
ahead.
Eric came back, I mean, it was amazing because the feeling of the audience of our members and Eric was like magic. And another thing that I want to bring about Eric as well is the Junior Habitude Warrior. My wife and I, our sons have been through his program, and he came back just a short time ago to Phoenix, and we were blessed enough to be able to drive from where we live to meet Eric at a restaurant and get some photo opportunities with him. But he's definitely made an impression on Network Together. And, we are honored that he has supported Network Together, and he's been on our stage, and he brings a lot of fun. And it's about not just business. It's about, how about let's have some fun?
Absolutely. Well, how can you not have fun when he's in the room?
Right.
Anywhere that I have ever been and that he is too, he just elevates the room. I mean, he might be up on top of a chair doing it, but but he's definitely going to bring a lot of energy and a lot of fun, and that's why they call him Mr. Awesome. And he is generous, and the fact that he does have the Junior Habitude Warrior, I actually not long ago was able to go to one of his events in San Diego, and one of our friends, a dear friend of Mikey Adam Cohen and I. He plays an instrument. He actually was one of the entertainers for the Junior Habitude Warrior event. And he then was talking about it afterwards, and he said, I wish they would have had these kind of things when I was a kid, because what he was witnessing was just that it was an amazing opportunity for these young people to be empowered and find their voice and find themselves. So yeah, I can't say enough really great things about him also.
Yeah, and in our events, and you know this, and Rob brought it out as well. And by the way, Rob is working with some other of our team members up in Utah to open up Utah Network Together. So we're really excited about that, and he's going to be a great advocate. But all of our meetings are open to well-behaved kids, because we believe that entrepreneurism should start at 14 and not 40. And he actually brought that out at our expo. We had 223 people there, and there was probably less than 5 kids at the event. And I remember him standing up there and saying, "Where are your kids at?"
Right. Right. Mine are too old now to be that. Someday here soon I'll have grandkids that age. Wink, wink.
There. That's right.
And I'll be taking, I'll be inviting them to come with me, because I think that it's such an important topic, and it's one that we could even revisit at another time when we have because I'd like to be doing this maybe on a quarterly basis around your events, because when you have quarterly events, and I said that we bring that up, and we will in a moment, but before we do that, I want to bring something else up. You announced and this was so you guys, I mean, okay.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Share, and then I'll let you share. But you were so adorable, and I don't remember how you can correct me, but my takeaway was this, is that it was your wife, she was talking about the night before, the evening before at the VIP event, and that you had presented a surprise to her. And she said, some women want chocolates and diamonds and flowers. I'm the kind of girl that, yes, I like chainsaws, but a magazine is a really good gift. And you made this a surprise gift to your wife, didn't you?
I did, and I'm glad you brought up the chainsaw. I remember when we were first dating, and really we met through what other way, networking. She came to a chapter, and she was our speaker, and she didn't know that. And Tamara, I was sitting right across from her, and unfortunately, I was like fell in love at first sight. And I had to find out where she was, and I had to track her down. And I talked to a buddy, and he talked to her, and he's like, Who are you talking about? And she was like, that little short guy? She's like, I don't think guys that are shorter than me. And so he gave her some advice and said, let me tell you something. If you were my sister, I would tell you to date him. So that opened up the door. I almost forced breakfast on her to go out. But she must have liked the eggs, because we've been going out and we got married ever since. So it's been wonderful. But yeah, we had another conversation. I said, any gal who likes sledgehammer and chainsaws and any other type of power tools is the woman that I want to be with. So, so at this event, I said, hey, honey, I have a surprise for you. And she had no idea, Tamara. She had no idea I was working on this magazine to bring more attention to entrepreneurs who also believe in the art of one-on-one personal communication, or in small groups or at expos, that actually being live with other people is a viable option at times. And that's what this magazine celebrates.
Well, I was very impressed by the whole presentation. I know that others were too. I mean, you're definitely going to get the attention of a room when it's being announced that, yes, we have a magazine. Oh, by the way, I like chainsaws. It's like,
and you saw the room when
dress and
is it flowers? Is it a bracelet? Is it a ring? And it was like, oh no, he didn't. He surprised her with a magazine. Was there not like a little moment of silence before all of a sudden the applause?
Oh, it was
Perfect.
it was priceless. It truly was a priceless moment because people were like,
yeah, they were.
you know, kind of like, what do I do here?
Yep.
You know,
Right. They were like, wow, they loved it, but they didn't know how to respond. Like it was so like off the range, so to
yeah,
speak.
I like that, off the range. Absolutely out of the scope of
Yeah.
even the bullseye, because it was definitely thinking outside the box. You get a lot of kudos for that one, I'll tell
Thank
you.
you.
And let's see here. I'm going to pull this picture up.
Yep.
This picture here, because what the magazine, and I love the fact that you had the magazine created by one of your local network together individuals that's
Yes.
there, and because that's what you really promote, is you promote working together. You don't just say it, you do it.
Yeah, and we utilize our members, and you know, you're speaking of Brian K. Wright. He is the host of the Success Profiles magazine, and he puts out Success Profiles magazine. And he's had a lot of great individuals on his cover. And we came together, and there's a really interesting backstory. He's an Iowa State Cyclone, and my mom taught at Iowa State too in curriculum instruction. And we're going to have to go look at the records, but they were there about the same time. And you know, when I heard that he went to Ames, he lived in Ames and went to Iowa State, I thought, well, you know, I might have to check him out a little bit further because he has some credentials there. so, so we came together at a Barnes and Noble, and within 6 weeks, the idea was hatched, and within 2 days before the event, we had Joe Brookmeyer, who printed it for us, and we were able to have it in print at the expo, and it really was a wonderful treat to have for everyone.
Oh, it was so well received, and the buzz and the excitement, and I mean, you can tell when people are genuinely the energy, when they genuinely are engaged, because the energy in the room just kept going up and up and up and up, to a point that literally people didn't want to even leave when the event was over, and it was an all day event that
Yes.
went, and you had lunch even there, because there's not a lot of breaks. In fact, I kept waiting. Hint. I kept waiting for my little permission to get up and walk to a certain room that's outside of the room. And I finally just said, okay, I don't think I'm going to get that permission. I had to just quietly.
You just have to take it.
Yeah, yep. I just got to be bold and go. And so that's what I did. But, you know, I why the genius of why you set it up the way you do, because there's an element, and I'm an observer as well as I have both sides to me. I observe, and then I am in the middle of the mix. And this was an opportunity for me, because you had told me so much about what you do, that I actually was taking a bit of it in, having an opportunity to see, what is this really about? And as I did, there were times I was like, okay, maybe I should be the little bit of an adequate help, you know, like, can we take this outside? Because there are people speaking, and yet there's people that are so excited, and then they're starting to do the business. And so then it's like, oh, that's right, you know, let's be polite. And they were always polite, but there would be that moment, like they would start, you know, like getting excited, and people would be, okay, you know, and it's time to go out there and complete your business and come back in, because we got more to go. And I keep saying this, but it's genuine. I have never seen this kind of excitement, this kind of activity, this kind of, and it just kept going. You have this going here, you have that going there, you have these people here, and it was for that kind of energy and excitement. It was really everybody was well behaved.
Well, you know, we had the panels, and then we had the speakers, and they were like running through, and we had the lunch, and yeah, there's a great panel right there. I know some of those people.
Yeah.
You know, And the reason why we do it that way, and we do it so quickly, because we know that people love energy, and we know that people love speed. And so, we set it up in such a way where a panel gets on, a panel gets off. I mean, if you want to break, you better take it. You better get up and walk through the audience past everyone. You can take your break outside, but you may just miss something, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, you don't want to be out there for long. In fact, I found that out too, because it was like, okay, someone want to take a picture or whatever it may be. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. And then get back in, because I don't want to miss anything. And the speakers that you had were so impactful that I have talked to people afterwards about their subject matter, about what I learned. How do I say this? And so, because I've got so many different friends from so many different groups, that I want to say this politely, but the value of information was so incredible from the very start of their time to the very end of their time. Was there a little bit of something at the end, like, if you want to know more, meet with me over here or something like that? Yep. Yes. But go ahead.
Yeah, and one of the things that one of our panelists told me, and he ran the marketing panel, and he said, one of the indicators of a truly successful event is, are there as many people at the beginning of the event, the middle of the event, and the end of the day? And he called me up and he said, Robert, you met all those markers. You and your team, your wife, and all the volunteers who we acknowledged.
Yeah, you did.
And we even put them up on PowerPoint, and we flashed them through, because we are nothing without our volunteer team. I want to say that to everyone out there. Thank you, guys. And at the end, we and you know this, because you and I were about the last ones to leave when we got to hang out just for those few moments, and I was like ready to. I was done. It was like, oh my goodness, it was like Aspen crew party. Oh, I'm gonna go home and sleep instead. And our event ended at 5, and there were still people. We were trying to get out of there at almost 7 o'clock at night.
Right. Yeah.
That's impactful.
Yes, it was. It was very impactful. And the people that I visited with after, because Dawn and Jim had a free class that they had offered on Saturday.
Yeah.
And how to win paid stages. And I went to that event, and it was an event that they invited people from your organization, Network Together, and we were talking about that day, the expo, and the comments were that they all had either done business, or one way or another, either they received business or they did business with someone else, but in one way or another, transactions were taking place. And I don't think there was one that was there at that meeting on Saturday that did not have some kind of a business transaction take place. Yeah. And I know that happens at big events, and I know that happens at events with like Mr. Awesome and such, and yet you don't always see that with just about everybody that's there. The people that are the vendors, because the way that you had the vendors set up, I thought was, at first, it kind of almost took me back. I'd never seen it set up like that. And I was trying to figure out to navigate the room in the very beginning. And, because you had you had the regular chairs, you have round tables, and then you have the lines of vendor tables.
Yeah.
All in the room. And it made logical sense once I had figured it out. And then, of course, you had the panel set up, and you made use of every single inch of that room.
Yes.
What are you going to do because that room can't hold much more? Is there a breakout wall that they can bring up more?
We broke out the breakout wall. So that was it. In October, we're probably going to use the outdoors as well, because all the doors can open up on our October 25th event. So everyone, that's our next event, October 25th, 2019 at the Avion Center in Chandler. But we do that we do that because October 24th, 2019, but we do that because we believe that everyone's energy should be collected and shared together in that room. We don't want to separate everyone out. We want everyone to be a part of the energy if they have the desire to do so.
Right. And I can see, so the panel or the wall of glass, the wall that
Yes.
goes out into a patio, you said.
Correct.
And in Phoenix in October, that will be quite nice
Yes.
weather. It will be beautiful, won't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And so that makes a lot of sense because it's a wonderful venue. It truly is. It's a unique venue, and it's I can see why you're using it. It's a community. What is it? It's the Avion Center, and it's unique.
Well, the Avion Center is it's right next to the Chandler Airport, so it bids its name to the Chandler Airport, which is only about a half a mile away. And we have a promotional partner is Sevrar. It's the Southeast Valley Regional Association of Realtors. And last year we were at a different venue for a local real estate company, which worked out really well. But some of the other realtors, and real estate's a big industry in Arizona, of course, as you know.
Yeah.
What we were having, I wouldn't say issues, but we were losing opportunities for other real estate companies to feel comfortable coming to that venue because a lot of times you align with different strategic partners.
Right.
So I talked to some of the team over at Sevrar, and I said, we do have some, social validation. We have these great events. We want to open up to the entire real estate community. Would we be able to use your event center? Now, their event center is just not for business. You can have weddings there. You can have corporate events there. You can have sales training. You can proctor tests there, etc. So it's a very great event for any type of event. And they also have a commercial kitchen where you can bring in caterers to utilize that kitchen like we did for the event. But when we moved to that new venue, we found that Sevrar and Barb Christensen, she's the event manager, have turned out to be fearless, accommodating, wonderful host, and they make the day great. And this is going to sound funny, by not being seen.
I get you because
by not being seen. I mean, it's like, how does this all get done? By not being seen. They're like ghosts that make it happen.
Right. And they were even that way at the very end because, like you said, we were there shutting down the place, and even as they came in, they were that way. They were so generous and accommodating and quick at what they do. I actually was so impressed. And Swampy, played Swampy. He used to live in your neck of the woods. Now
I love it. He wrote Valley of the Sun. That's right, Valley of the Sun. And it's really funny. I never knew I would enjoy Arizona so much. I moved here from San Diego, and unless it's monsoon season, yes, it's a dry heat, but.
And you're Tower Hunter.
It's like, oh my goodness. But I mean, I was so happy for you to come out there. But, there was a lot of first at this event, and I would be remiss if I don't say the first. I mean, it was the first ever, women's panel that we had, and we were blessed to have you on it. It was our greatest amount of raffle giveaway money that we gave to our not-for-profit. It was the first time that, we were able to unveil our new magazine. Our audience, it was the second largest audience that we've ever had at one of our iNetwork expos. And it was actually the first time we actually had the event simulcast. We were doing some simulcasting of the event because as we grow into Utah, Nevada, California, New Mexico, we're going to eventually get to the point where the expo will travel around different regions. We were working on our simulcast of the event so we could have watch parties where people could go to different venues and come together and still be a part of that event. So we were excited that was another first that we had at this event that you attended.
Oh, wow. I knew that there were a lot of firsts. I did not know about that last one. My mind is already spinning off on how to make it, that much more effective in all this different areas. I lived in the Utah market and worked there for a few years, and it's a very robust market, just like your market there in the Phoenix area, Phoenix Mesa, greater Phoenix area. Let's just say Scottsdale. I'm now starting to get sort of kind of figuring it all out, going out there so much, which I'm thrilled to be doing. I know that I'll be back out there for your October event, because I joined. I joined the Network Together group, and so I'm proud to be now a part of your organization. And
ladies and gentlemen, this is our newest member of Network Together, Miss Tamara Hunter of Chemo Buddies for Life, and it's a wonderful organization. She actually, last time we were on the show, made me cry because I opened up to her about my own cancer experience. And today, it may not come across too well, but I wore pink for you, Tamara. I wore pink for you to raise more awareness visually for all our chemo warriors out there, because we want to give them the ultimate in support. There is pretty much no one has not been touched by someone or knowing someone or someone of cancer in their life. We have so many things attacking our physical well-being, but you know what? It still can't destroy what matters most, and that's the heart. And that's what you are helping provide. It is the support from a people's heart and their love for others. And there is no more honorable way of giving back than that. And I appreciate you for that, Tamara.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to make it very clear, because some of our buddies, they are going through radiation. Some have chosen to do alternative methods, and they're all buddies. It doesn't matter what type of treatment you choose. Our stand is do it with a buddy. Don't do it alone. And because we are healing through connections. And so thank you for that, Robert. Yes, I will never forget that last show. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get the link from the YouTube and put it in here. And so if someone wants to watch that show, and because that was a real interesting situation, because that was something that you actually had suppressed.
Yeah, I had buried it for 10 years. And, before the show, I had mentioned to my wife, I said, yeah, when I had cancer, and we'd been married, at that point, we'd been married 4 years. And she looked at me and she said, you had cancer and you didn't tell me? And I was going through such a trying time of life. I came out here and, I lost, one of my businesses, my home, the real estate market was crashing, and I had cancer on top of it. And I was suffering really, really bad, but I chose to serve my family and my clients before me. And I just had to bury my own personal situation to serve others. And it came out, and I had forgotten all about that. And all of a sudden, I broke down and started crying that day, because it was probably 10 years of emotions just coming back to me. And, going through all the shots that they had, and the liquids and the x-rays and the ultrasounds and the medicines, and that was a year of my life. And to forget about that, and for it to come back, and it's still hard. It's like I just want to bury it again, but to know that I was in that place, I understand how fearful people can be when they're going through something. And I didn't necessarily have a buddy. I was really, really alone, and that's certainly a space that I don't want anyone to be in.
No. And in fact, one thing that I would suggest, and tell me when you're ready, is if someone comes in and needs a buddy, and if you would be the right buddy for them, if it's all right if I check with you and you can help someone else by being a buddy, because that's what this community is all about. We are serving each other, and we're helping each other to get through it. And it's interesting oftentimes that when you serve someone else, you actually can help yourself by healing and serving yourself too. So that moment in time happens. If it's all right if I call and see if it's a good time for you to be a buddy.
Absolutely. And, I just want to say my wife, we have to divide and conquer. And one of our members had a major surgery yesterday, and she spent about 14 hours with her the day before yesterday and another 6 hours today. And, you know, that's what I never ask someone to do something that I'm unwilling or unable to do. And my wife is the same way. And I just want to tell her that I love her and thank you for supporting our member, Sean, and going out there and being with her. That's her right there. I had all the kids, so I was taking care of the kids, doing business, and she went to support our member who was in the hospital. And I'm really grateful that she has a servant's heart as well. It's really great. I always say there's nothing worse than a bad marriage, and there's nothing greater than a great marriage. And I have that, Sean.
Thank you, Swampy. Chemo Buddies for life. And we do use the number 4, but our legal name does use the spelling of org. Yeah, it's Chemo Buddies for life, doing business as Chemo Buddies for life. Yes, got to do it a little different. So as we start to wrap this up, I would like to say first and foremost how grateful I am for Network Together, how grateful I am for you and Sean, how grateful I am for Donna, who led the women's panel and did a great job, may I say.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm grateful for your members, because it takes members, it takes a community, and it takes those that say they are involved to actually be out there, show up, and be welcoming, be there to lend a hand, there to show where something is. You don't always find that, and it really is a top-down situation, but then it's a bottom-up situation.
Yeah.
And that's what you've created, because I want to say, you said that you were, and I got to mention this, you said that you were sitting in the bullpen, but then you used the sandbox also.
My sandbox playground here, my environment where Network Together members can all come into this environment here. You can see the lockers back there. You can see some of the desks where some of them sit at and whatnot. This is our Network Together bullpen at the Scottsdale Galleria in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so when Sean and I are here during our open office hours, any Network Together member can come up and share. And we even have little gift bags to give them, just to kind of entice them to come hang out with us. And it has all sorts of good goodies in here. So, and these are called we're still working on the name. I'm calling them net bags. But
I love it.
Yeah. So, again, it's all about having fun and sharing and giving, and even, got candies in there and whatnot. And so, I always say, the best learning is fun learning. And the best business is having fun in your business and doing business with others. And that really is the kind of the mantra that I want to create and embrace for all of our members and everyone that I meet personally.
Well, I can say you're being successful in that firsthand. I can say it for myself. And then I can say it that the friends that I have that are associated with you, because I have many of them that are Network Together members or have been to your events and that are becoming members. Yep. And I know that what you say, you do. That is one of the things about you. That is one of the things about your wife. That's one of the things about Donna, who's on your board, is that you are people of integrity, and your word is your bond, and that's a very important piece to what your program is all about. And that's not something that you can always say. That's
Right.
something you want to be able to always say. I think everybody wants to be able to say that. Now, does life happen? Yes, life can happen. However, then be open about that, take care of business, and then go on together still. And that is the mantra that you run there at Network Together, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we have a saying is everyone deserves to eat and everyone deserves to compete.
Oh, I like
Just do it nicely.
that. Oh, you did that too. Oh, did you practice that with the camera? You did. The timing was like perfect. Just do it nicely. Oh, that was good.
Nicely. Because we are an open, this, we're an open networking group. Anyone's willing to join, and we don't force anyone to have to come to any chapter at any time. We want people to come together because they want to come together and they know that they get great value. And Donna's telling me, no, Donna and Sean say, no, it's iNet bags. So it's the iNet bags. Okay, so here we go. Our new iNet bags, our new name with the iNetrepreneur magazine and our iNetwork Expo. So I guess it's all about but that really means it's all about you. And I love it.
You know what? I'm thinking about this. I network bet. Everyone deserves to compete. Just do it nicely. Don McGrath is here with us too,
Yeah.
and as we wrap this up, I just want to say, my friend, that you are stellar. You are a man of integrity, and you live your word, and your word is your bond, and it's a full circle with you and your wife, and that is very unique, and it is refreshing, and it's something refreshing in the Phoenix area. Wink, wink. When it can be 100 and hotter than you can cook outside. Who needs an oven in your area?
And that's why, did you see the cooler? I had the cash in the cooler. I said, beat the summer heat with the coolest event of the year. And then I had that cooler there for cold hard cash. So there was a theme there. Plus, did you see the beach balls and the palm trees and whatnot like that? We are working on our theme to our next event on October 25th, October 24th at for the iNetwork Expo, and I'm kind of thinking of a little place. So we're going to kind of announce an idea here. So what do you think about Mardi Gras in October?
Oh.
Okay, Mardi Gras in October because because it's not Halloween, because not everyone celebrates Halloween.
Right.
Mardi Gras is festive, and you can wear masks, and you can do like sort of different character things. Maybe. What do you think?
Well, okay. My first thought is, if they don't do Halloween, they might not do Mardi Gras. But with that said, I love the colors of Mardi Gras. I love the whole feather and the mask thing, and I have plenty of props. I love props, and so
I love props too.
Bring with me. I believe this. I believe that anything you choose, you guys will do it stellar. And fall, you have so many different, you can play off of the fact that it's October, it's fall, and it's Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that look? And the thought that Mardi Gras is usually in the spring, isn't it? Or it's February,
like March, yeah.
Of the year, yeah. And so okay, this is funny.
I mean, he's already on it now. We can pass out to beads to every guest.
Yeah, so Dawn's saying, can he wear beads? And then Donna's saying, sweet, she's all in. and then
oh my goodness, Brown said, yeah, I mean, why not? Let's bring some Cajun to Phoenix, man. There's nothing like a good bowl of beans and rice, let me tell you. I mean, I'm originally from Dallas, which is not that far from Arizona. And I used to go hang out in Bossier City quite a bit. And look, Jim wants to wear a mask. Oh, can Jim wear a mask? So it might work.
Oh, now this is getting fun. We're going to be a little over an hour here because, you've engaged people now. They're totally. Yeah,
my wife, she wants, I don't know, she wants me to go as the Green Arrow or something. I'm like, what? No, that's too much.
That's what Mardi Gras, you could get out of the Green Arrow.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what they have, how that's relatable, other than, well, I guess Mardi Gras is green, purple, and gold. But we'll figure out something, for the event.
I love it. Yeah, because the whole Speakers Pathway Coalition team will be there because we're doing we're celebrating our 1 year of getting together at the same time. So it's going to be just this amazing energy, I know, and I like it. I've been to Mardi Gras, so I actually have some Mardi Gras stuff, and so I'll pull it out and get it all kind of shiny and clean, and so okay, so then I'm going to go
right. Yeah. Well, of course, Don's going to go as the speaking geek. I just want to see the nerdy glasses.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Nerdy glasses. Well, he could do. Do a combo thing with the speaking geek. Mardi Gras style. You could pull that off, Don. And then Donna's like, yeah, gumbo, baby.
Yeah, gumbo, baby. Yeah. Do business, have fun. I mean. Yeah. Why not? I mean, look, they have Christmas in July. We just have Mardi Gras in October.
I love it. Okay, it's been decided. At least I vote yes. Now that I get some kind of voting privileges, probably my new thing. So.
Tamara, I see her. She's like, okay, where's this? Okay, I'm looking for a board position. I'm going to advise on partiness. I'm going to be the party queen of Network Together. Here we go. What are we going to do next?
Oh, I love it.
Got ideas. We'll travel. Let's do it. Let's go.
But you know what? Let's do this. Okay. Don's having a blast. He's being speaking and love it. Bling.
Everyone's commenting on all this stuff. It's like, come on, guys, what other ideas can we have out there? Bring your native New Orleans to us. Let's make it happen.
Oh, I love it. Oh, let's comment in you guys replay, hashtag live right now. And let's keep this going because I'll tell you, this is fun. So, okay. And if anybody has any pictures of their Mardi Gras, stuff, any of their outfits that they have, make it a PG-13, please. Nothing more than that, because this is a kid-friendly environment. Yes. So, so Tamara, the party planner, together. I love a good party.
Oh my gosh.
And having a lot of fun. So, I mean, that's why I have, like all these buttons, there you go.
Button,
So
I can break out my purple shirt. Or green shirt. I don't know what I'm going to break out because Sean will probably help me in that endeavor.
Well, I'm already inspired. This is going to be fun. Well, you're always inspiring. Your organization is inspiring. Your dear wife. Extend my thoughts and my sincere thank you to her for the service that she has given. She's being a service hero right now.
Absolutely.
For your member, and in my book, that's what it's all about in the end, because these are the things. I love business, I love parties, I love friends and everything, but when it comes down to our lives and helping someone to live through get through the tough times so that they can get over to the other time, it is the greatest gift that you can give anyone, and that's what she's doing, and you're supporting her. That's what you're doing too.
I'm glad you said that, because we were talking about gifts, and Sean and I actually took the love languages test.
Oh, yeah.
And we both scored in the same area, and that was our language is spending quality time, both of us. So that is well matched. Well played.
Well played.
Well
Little did you
played.
know that chemistry from right off the bat was going to
Yep.
be something that
Yep.
years later that you guys would be building together a networking group that is not only, I'm going to say, helping people with their finances, you guys are helping people in all areas of a community and life, because that's what the cornerstones or the pillars of your platform are all about. So, is there anything that you would like to say before I end our time together?
I just want to do it, one more time. Just our next big expo is on October 24th. Doors open at 8. The agenda starts at 9 with our first panel, and then it'll end at 5 p.m. or so. We always provide lunch for everyone, and we have great gluten-free options. Again, it's October 24th, 2019 at the Avion Center. You can go to inetworkexpo.com. That's inetworkexpo.com to get the information. If you'd like more information about Network Together, that's networktogether.net. Again, it's networktogether.net to find more about our organization. And feel free to reach out to Sean or myself. We will answer the phone. We will get back to you, because it's in our heart to be a membership-led organization and be a part of the community, not apart from the community.
Oh, I love it. Very well played. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. And the address is there. That's why I put those cards up, just to show the consistency of quarterly events. And so as we end today's show, which is day number 290.
Oh, gosh.
300.
Wow.
I know, 290. That's pretty. It's getting exciting. It's been going on for a while, and I'm excited about that, and I'm grateful to be sharing it with you and all of our friends today, Robert. So as we close,
thank you so much. It feels great. Thank you.
Thank you. As we close day number 290 of 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service, I want to say to you, both you, Robert and Sean, that your organization and what you are doing, the two of you, to bring networks together are really making a difference. And I'm proud to say that I am so thrilled to be a part of your organization and will commit to do whatever I can do to bring it forward into this next quarter and into this next year. Let's have some fun at that Mardi Gras party.
Thank you. Let's have some fun. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed being on your show today.
Well, thank you. I feel the same, and I'm leading it here with Dawn McGrath. Be there.
Be there or be square.
All right. See you later. Everybody, see you tomorrow. I have a show that will be taking place at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern, and you will be meeting a gentleman making a difference. His name is Abaddon Respes. So looking forward to that show. Have a good evening. Bye.